All right, welcome to another episode from the chart reader. So I have a little bit of a busy afternoon, so I have to make this video during live hours. Again, you can see it's 3 o'clock Eastern. There's still a full hour of trading. 12 o'clock my time. I am on the West Coast. All right, we're going to look at four very known stocks, and it looks like most of them are actually doing all right. I know what three of them look like. I actually don't know what the fourth one looks like, but we're going to look at Mullen, as you see on the screen, Nikola. We're going to look at CGC as well as tilray. I'll be honest, I don't know what tilray looks like, but CGC is making a really big run right now, actually, and I'm not really sure if I saw any news, but we'll get to that one shortly. Look, Mullen, today's a good day, all right? And you know I love it when people make money, all right? So I am not trying to take away from this beautiful 25% that people needed, but I'm here for more than just a single good day, right? And honestly, I think it's a little too early to get excited, but we'll talk about what can happen with Mullen, all right? And then Nikola, again, Nikola, as far as I saw, was doing pretty well today. I don't think it was a silly 20% plus, but I think it was above 10% the last time I looked at it. So we will take a look at all of that and more. But before we go any further and I give you more of my thoughts and opinions, what are we going to do? Same thing we always do, right? We'll take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how these things are setting up short term. We have our 5 moving averages. There are horizontal support and resistance lines that I do draw manually myself, and then when we are done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can please subscribe to this channel, share this video online with your friends, comment good or bad. Look, I'm telling you, anything you can do helps me so much. We're in live trading. I've got an alert on this thing. Again, if you see an alert that's not an immediate buy notification, I'm making these videos and not pausing to go buy that thing, right? So just part of what happens with being in live hours. But hey, again, thank you for your time, and let's get into it. So look, Mullen, okay, I've been talking about Mullen for a bit, and you can't let one big day fool you, all right? And again, it's gone up almost another 5% since I've been recording, right? So I'm seeing this thing still go up, and I'm still holding on to the words that I'm still saying, all right? And what are the words? Man, this thing is all about the 8 and the 20, all right? As I move out and zoom out, you can see it. Basically right here, I mean, really, you can even say right here. This was the moment we fell below all 5 moving averages, all right? You hear the rhyme every single video. You break all 5 and you fly up. You lose all 5 and you die. And that's literally what happens. Reverse split, not good, but again, we were already in a bad place. Reverse split again, not good, but again, still same place. And what's that same place? Under the 8 and the 20, okay? There were starting to become some better attempts at the 20, right? And, you know, this was starting to look okay. It was holding on to it as long as it could, but then we lose it. This was really the first moment I started... Excuse me, sorry about that. This was the first moment I started to get a little bit excited because we get our first good green candle, right? You can see this one's outlined, this one's filled in, this one's filled in, this one's filled in. I like the outlines more, right? And you should know that. If you don't, throw it in the comments and I'll definitely let you know, right? But Mullen's been knocking on the door of breaking the 8 and the 20, but all it really knows how to do is trade under these 2 lines. And look, there are times, and you've heard me say it again so many times, this is a good view of it actually. You fall way below the 8, you come back up to it. You fall well below the 8, you come back to it. Hopefully you can do a little bit more. That's what I'm seeing here. We go away from the 8, we come near the 8. We fall really far from the 8, we come up to the 8. I'm telling you, I still see no reason to believe we're going to break the 8 moving average, okay? Now look, this is a decent MACD. It's actually been relatively up or flat. It's been trying to get into that. It's a weird zoom and I apologize, but the dashed line is the 0 line, and I don't ever see a break of the dash. It doesn't look like it ever got into the positive, right? So it's close, but hey, it hasn't gotten in there yet. RSI is definitely low, but you know, it's something I talk about often, right? Sometimes what needs to happen is your RSI is too low. It needs to come back up just so that it can go back down, comes back up just so that it can go back down. You know, that's kind of the pattern. Look, on this day right here, we were at an RSI of 12. All right. Generally speaking, I say 30 is really low. You know, 12 is super low. And just kind of looking at it historically, this peak right here, this was a 20 RSI. These were 17, right? Even this one was an 18. So this 12 RSI was actually the lowest RSI we've had in a good while. So really, I'm telling you, all I'm really seeing is a potential reset of the RSI. Let it come back up a little bit just so it can go back down. All right. There's still no reason to believe we're going to break the 8 until we see more. Okay. So what happens if we break the 8? Look, we've done it a couple times actually. We'll break the 8, get to the 20, maybe a little bit higher. Right. Sorry, zooming out. We'll break the 8, get to the 20, maybe a little bit higher. Right? We'll break the 8, get to the 20, not really, a little bit higher. Break the 8, kind of, right? So we have the potential, all right, to break the 8 moving average, which is sitting at 31 cents right now. And hopefully we can ride that all the way up to 40. Look, going from 30 to 40 is a 33% move, all right? So when I say just wait, I'm not telling you like wait and you know you're gonna make no, like we're waiting to hopefully catch a beautiful 33%. All right, and for me there is no guarantee, there is nothing that's safe and blah blah blah, right? But for me, getting over the 8 is a little bit of a reason to believe we'll get to the 20. Do I believe we're gonna break this 20 line? Not at all. All right. I think there's enough reason to believe we'll get close to it. We were there not that long ago. It was only a couple of weeks. And like I said, we've made the move to it before. So, hey, maybe if we get over this line, there's reason to believe we'll get here. I'll be very honest with you, though. I would not be surprised if we drop back to 25 cents tomorrow. I really, really wouldn't. The one good thing that we've now done, all right, is now we've established a new all-time low line. So look, this is something you're going to hear me say very often, all right? This 44 cent, all right, before I just drew this 22 was the last line. This was my all-time low support. Whenever a stock loses all-time low support, my expectation is you're going to lose 20%. And then after that, you're going to lose another 20%. And then after that, you're going to lose another 20%. And you're just going to keep eating losses until, and I'm not saying this to be offensive, right? But until the hand of God comes down and saves this thing. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what happened here. This 22 cent line for absolutely no reason at all. There was no support that I could have drawn in this black abyss. Today, it decided to catch it. All right. I can still very easily see this going to 25, then 22, then what, 18 is the next 20% loss, right? So, you know, for me, and again, I'm not here to tell you what to do with your money. I'm not here to spread fear. You know, none of that nonsense, right? But get over the 8 is what I'm looking for. I think 32 cents, and I'll set that alert. I think 32 cents is a real good alert. And again, I don't need that like immediate, right? Give me a little reason to believe, and hey, red should be an easy green till at least here, all right? I know my line is at 44. I have no reason to move that, but for real, I think 40 is probably a safe wall, maybe a little bit higher than that. I don't know if it'll touch 44, right? And all that sort of stuff, but that's what I'm looking for on Mullen. Get me over the 8, take me to the 20. I have no reason to believe the 20 will break. Hey, if it does, we'll talk about the 50. And for real, the beautiful trading is break the 50 and go to the 100, right? That's moving average theory at the base, right? Break this one, go to this one, 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 break this one, and fly, right? So, you know, right now, I think the best thing you can do is set a high criteria for yourself. Let the stock prove something more before you make some rash. Today was a beautiful day. I am so happy for you if you made some money. I don't think today is worth getting extremely excited for is really the point. Let's look at the weekly, I guess, really quickly. I mean, look, this one's interesting. Sorry for the silence. I was just kind of looking at it. The 8 moving average on the weekly is at 43 cents, pretty much lined up exactly with my 44. I think this is kind of saying, hey, there's maybe a shot that we actually do make a run to that 44, right? So I think it's worth watching tomorrow. You obviously saw me set an alert. Don't assume, though, is the biggest thing. Look, we have 45 minutes left. Let me see what the 15-minute chart looks like. Where are you at? All right, it's going to try to get to 31, right? Because we're over these two. Hopefully it can use the 20 to get back up and bounce. Otherwise, if we lose that 20, there's actually a real good shot that this comes down to 27 cents by the close of market. All right, Mullen, today was a good day if you made money. Don't assume the follow through, and if that 8 breaks, we'll start to mess around with it. NKLA, Nikola. NKLA. Oh, interesting. I thought this was doing a lot better. I'll be real honest with you. Look, in some ways today wasn't a horrible day, but I think a lot of what I just said on Mullen applies to here, okay? First and foremost, this was a really bad moment for Nikola, all right? On this day right here, on the 11th, we actually lose all 5 moving averages, and then on the 12th, we confirm. That's not a good thing at all right? From there, we see a doji. I generally say the day after the doji is pretty indicative of the truth. What the goal would have been to bounce back into it. Instead, we fall, and we fall hard, all the way down to that 98-cent support, right? Again, what did I say with Mullen? With Mullen, look, this is actually a really good view. This was perfect. You fall away from the 8, you come to the 8. You fall away from the 8, you come to the 8. You fall away from the 8, you come to it, and then hopefully more. I'm seeing us fall away from the 8, come to it. Fall away from it, come to it. I still have no reason to believe that the 8 moving average is going to actually break, and we're going to cut. Look, if the 8 moving average breaks, if we start to get into that like 111, 112 range, hey, there's a lot of reason to believe that this thing's going to come up to 130. All right. That said, I actually didn't flash this on the Mullen one, and I really should have. All right, let's take a look at the NASDAQ composite real quick. NASDAQ ain't doing that well. NASDAQ is not doing that well. The last 2 days have been all right. And again, this is good for tech stocks. And, you know, if 2 days are good here, you're going to see some decent days in tech stocks, right? So that same little bounce we do kind of see there, right? But I'm not seeing a good NASDAQ. And with a bad NASDAQ and seemingly no real news, I don't know what's making this happen. And for me, I think again it's the same comments I was saying with this. RSI was at 17. You know what I mean? That's a low RSI. What were you at right here? This was at 10. Damn, we've been lower. Damn, this was at 9. We've been lower. All right. Yeah, maybe there's a shot into the 130s. I don't think it's going to get over the 130s. I'm telling you, I'm still not sold that this is getting over 110. I'm really, really not. I think more things are saying we want to come down to this 88-cent range than they really are saying we want to come into the $1.50. I'll at least say that. Because, yeah, maybe if NASDAQ keeps recovering, we'll see that $1.30. I think 88 cents just seems a little bit more likely. I don't know if I'm being a little too pessimistic, but we're under all 5 moving averages. We're still under the 8 moving average. Yeah, I don't see too much good here. I don't actually. Where are we on the weekly? We're not in a good place on the weekly. We're under all 5 moving averages, right? Again, I don't like that on the daily. I don't like that on the weekly. I don't like that on any chart, right? So Nikola, when I saw it, it was definitely living in this up here range. And I believe I took a peek actually maybe when it was a little bit over this 914 day. A little bit surprised to see how much it fell. Oh, it just couldn't get over that 200 right there. Look at that. Dang. All right, interesting. Mullen, I think, is worth watching. This one, I'm not sure. Again, I'll keep that 133 target just in the background, but I don't think I'm a buyer, all right? I'm going to look at TLRY first, even though it looked like CGC was having the better day. Hey, this isn't a horrible day. Okay, sorry, I was thinking right there, right? So again, this is the point where we lose too many moving averages. This is the point where we fall below all 5 moving averages. Then we try to use the support line as much as we could, but I'm telling you, the 8 moving average, when it's not a stock's friend, is a devastatingly bad line. All right. And I will say I'm very, like, it was still a pretty drastic drop. I can't say it wasn't. We went from 2 and change. I guess it wasn't a horrible drop, actually. I'm glad it wasn't like a crazy drastic drop after losing all 5. Again, you hear me say the rhyme all the time: break all 5 and fly, lose all 5 and die, right? So it's definitely a prolonged downtrend. I'm not trying to pretend it's not going down, right? But this is the moment it actually could have gotten a little bit on the uglier side. So kind of take that for whatever positivity there is. I think what's happening right now, and look, I don't really follow politics much. There was a Speaker of the House that was approved. I don't know if people are liking this dude. I don't know if people think that he's like a little more pot friendly than the other dude that got rejected like 3 or 4 times, right? Like, I don't know enough about the political side of that conversation to make really educated comments, but maybe that's doing something here. Because I'll be honest, I looked at can I just really quick, is CGC still pushing 20%? Yeah, it is, right? Okay, when I looked at CGC, there was nothing that screamed this is the day that it was going to jump 20%. There was no headlines that really assumed it. First thing I thought was that speaker comment. That's kind of why I'm saying it on TLRY, right? Let me know your thoughts on that. Otherwise, look, there's not a lot of good going on right here, all right? The 8's going down, the 20's going down. I mean, RSI is living really low, and I'm maybe I am too pessimistic, right? Like let me know, right? But I just kind of see this resetting an RSI back into the 40s just so that it can come back down, right? Like, I'm glad this 177 line held, right? Like, otherwise it could have been a really fast drop to 163. Otherwise, buck 50 I think is all-time lows, if I'm not mistaken, right? Yeah, it is. So you know, I'm seeing more of a technical recovery on a line I happen to draw pretty nicely than, reason to believe. Again, let me know if I'm wrong, right? But MACD's still negative. I'm very much disregarding this RSI divergence. Again, divergence just means the 2 lines are going away from each other. I don't think there's much there. I don't. And again, volume's been really bad, actually. We've been nowhere near this white 50 average line, and I mean, yeah, these last 4 days completely wipe out those 3 days, right? Like, these 4 wipe out those 4, and I see nothing but a bunch of red, really, since the end of September, early October, right? So too much bad on this chart to really feel good here. Again, where are we? We're under all 5 on the weekly, right? And that's never a good thing. So what's this line at? 217. Where's 217 on the daily? Is that you right here? Yeah, look, again, I would for sure consider the break of the 100 all the way up to there. Really, I don't think I would touch Tilray under $2.48. I think that's what it needs to do, because that's pretty much 50% candle right there and well over all 5. So disappointing here, to say the least. All right, and then CGC, like I said, CGC was the one that caught my eye. This is the one that was pushing that double-digit 20%. For seemingly no reason, right? And again, look, I'll throw this out there, and again, it's not like it's something I say often, right? A doji the next day is generally pretty telling, and I don't think I saw any news that justified this. I actually really didn't know that there was a doji the day before. I did not see this on Monday. I don't know if that's swaying my thoughts a little bit. That's actually why I started going silent right there, because I can see we're like trying to get over that. Break 62 and go up to 69. I guess that's a 10% window right there. That's not too bad. Look, if this can get over 73 cents, 74 cents, I think that's where the beautiful trading is, right? I think it's kind of hard to justify an entry under 72 cents. Yeah, again, I'm not trying to poo-poo a 10% move, like going from the 100 in blue all the way up to the 20, right? That's about a 6 cent move on a 60-cent stock, right? But CGC, I think all that's really happening is we were at a really low RS, and it wasn't even that really low, but 22. You know what I mean? I think this thing was all the way down here before. Interesting. I don't know if I'm letting this doji sway my thoughts. I think I still need to hold a little bit of pessimistic thoughts here. I would love this stock. I would love it over 74. I think it's a little hard to justify while it's still battling these four lines. Interesting day today. I think on the bad case, it'll drop to 57 cents, 56 cents. Otherwise, hey, there's a decent shot that this goes to 69 cents. So let me know your thoughts and opinions as always. Otherwise, I appreciate you so much.